Here is another key to creating friendship and manifesting our dreams: frustration. Feeling upset or annoyed by the inability to change or achieve something. From things not going our way with work, home, to unmet needs. Not making progress, not becoming successful, not having a sense of fulfillment. Although being in a state of constant frustration can lead to problems, not having frustration as a way of resistance training, if you will make us weak, lonely, and unskilled, and unable to be a calm, wise, steady person who is capable. Basically, unskilled at everything. Uncertainty and insecurity will help us. Here's how. Here we go.
Let's cue the music.
I am Fawn
and Matt. We're an interracial couple with 2 kids wanting to do something that highlights the power of friendship and what it means to be in the company of true friends. We're going to move our society away and out of the loneliness epidemic and into a friendlier, happier world. Welcome to our friendly world. Better, stronger, together.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to our friendly world. Today we're talking about frustration. How did this come up? Do you want to take us back to our kitchen conversation this morning? By the way, major frustration. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like when you're in the middle of it, like these words can slap me in my own face. Like just starting this podcast just now, I was so frustrated with the wires and everything. And then I had to take a breath and go, oh, frustration. Okay, this is helping me. And Matt said we should leave that whole part to do on the podcast. But honestly, I was so frustrated. It was kind of ugly. But here we go. What were we talking about?
Oh,
Tell
my
'em.
goodness. What were we talking about? So there's a market we go to that's like 2 towns over. Every time we go, we get directions from our phones.
Really, what you want to say me. Every time I go, I use the directions. You know what? I can get lost going to our own bathroom sometimes. I'm just kidding. But yeah. I use navigation all the time.
Right. So does everyone.
Do they though?
I think most people do.
Really?
Yeah.
No, not like in my case, like the normal grocery store you go to.
Well, except it is...
Actually, yes. I can understand why people do it because they're trying to avert traffic. I want to go the pretty way, even if there's traffic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go the fast way.
Right. I mean, it's one thing, and we've been in this situation when you're new to town and you don't know where anything is, and you just say, take me to the nearest, supermarket. Boom. And it takes you, even though it's 2 seconds away, you still didn't know you needed to turn left here and right here. So boom. It's the constant. It's the continual. It's the every single time.
So you asked me why I do it.
Yes.
My immediate response was, it gives me comfort. And I don't know why. And that's something to look into.
Well, and that's just it. Comfort. Yes, absolutely. This world doesn't have a lot of comfort. Starbucks sells comfort. So many other places, they get us in, go on a spa day for comfort.
I just realized what it is.
And on and on.
Yeah, because it keeps you from thinking. Like, I feel uncomfortable driving. People go on a drive to clear their heads or feel better. Not me. I really dislike driving. And if I could have my utopian town or world that I lived in, nobody would drive a car because I don't trust people on the road. There's so many hazards to look out for, and then to look out for like, oh, I need to turn here on this street, turn left over here. If someone is there just to tell me that part so I can concentrate on all the unknown psychic stuff that's happening on the road to keep us safe, taking that one thing off of my plate of like, okay, Fawn, remember to turn right here in 300 feet. I think that's what gives me comfort. I have to think less.
You have to what?
Think less.
Interesting.
Yeah, I get it. Go on with your point. With all due respect. Love you, babe.
Love you too, sweet pea.
I'm just frustrated.
Exactly. So some people, and it's still very much a minority right now, are starting to talk about how we're losing our ability for deep thought. We're allowing these helpers to help us in a way that may not be so good for us in the long term.
You're talking about AI. Everyone's turning to AI, ChatGPT, to solve everything and to tell them everything.
Well, yes, but also, I mean, it started the reason why I wanted to start with the phones is we've had phones for an awful long time.
And that's AI. People don't understand. That's AI.
It is and isn't. So yes, and we've had directions. We had, God, way back when there was MapQuest, and you would print out the directions and follow them.
Oh, there's sticky notes on the dashboard, and if you turned on the air conditioner, it would fly away. Yeah.
And if you missed a turn or you missed a street sign,
and then you have to keep looking at the paper, and it's scary because you're on the freeway
Right.
in LA. No.
But I'm saying that this has been an ongoing kind of thing. This is the latest version of it, the latest iteration of it. And I think it's been a very natural process because nobody wants to hand wash their clothes. The fact that we have washing machines to do it, and the fact that I have no idea how to hand wash clothes, like my jeans, properly, I think it involves beating them against a rock, but I don't know.
Well, there are several ways. You don't know because you don't really clean the house that much.
No.
I can wash your jeans, honey. I can think of 2 ways right now I would do it. I would use a brush. Okay, go ahead. Never mind.
But we digress. I mean, labor-saving devices have been around for an awfully long time, but now we're looking at cognitive easing devices. We're looking at delivery services for food, both groceries as well as dinner. We're looking at one-click shopping. We're looking at the removal of an awful lot of barriers, an awful lot of frustrations in our lives.
Right. Even the frustration of dealing with clients or dealing with friends or people by just talking to ChatGPT, or the frustrations of like, can't afford to go to a therapist. Let me just talk to ChatGPT about this problem and see how I can resolve it.
Right.
Or I need to find out how to do something instead of asking someone or having someone teach you to knead dough a certain way, like in person. You're just going to get it from ChatGPT because you don't want to, for whatever reasons, carry that burden, or like getting over the uncomfortableness of having to reach out to someone and having the logistical, everything that it takes to bring people together to do something together. It's just easier to just ask ChatGPT, how much time have I saved? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But what have we lost? Anyway, so let's not digress. So yes, everything is being done by ChatGPT or whatever it is. AI, whatever, right?
Well, a lot is, yes.
And so you were saying that has removed the ability for us to even figure things out and have deep thoughts, period. To have deep thoughts. And my rebut to that was, well, perhaps it's a time for us not to have deep thoughts because there are waves, there are cycles in everything in life. And you can't have deep thoughts all the time, like every minute. There are times where you just get so much information up until you're fed enough to be able to create the space for the deep thoughts to happen. So yeah, perhaps we're not having deep thoughts at the moment because so much is changing. And there's so many things to learn, and time is moving so fast, of course, and there's a lot. So it's not necessarily the time to be deep in thought because perhaps the house is on fire at the moment. I'm not going to sit there and have deep thoughts about the fire. You need to get the hell out, right? It's not the time. And then you had a rebut to that.
Right. When is it time? When is it time? When will you have time? Because the zone is officially flooded with too much information.
Perhaps, but it can't keep being that way forever. That's just nature. Even if that nature has created AI, it's still nature. There will be a flow, and I think there will be a flow, and there will be a time where we have quiet again. And that's when art will develop. That's when thoughts will develop. That's my thinking.
Right. And it's a good thought.
But I appreciate what you're saying because, I mean, I'll have to admit, I will, and I do admit this now, being with you for so many years, you say things, Matt. I'm like, oh no, Matt, you don't understand. That's just a site. And then we'll come to a point and I'm like, oh no, Matt, you were right because I didn't think of this. You tend to think 100 moves ahead. So I think it's important what you're saying, and let's take a look at what you're saying.
And honestly, if we start really kind of pulling certain things apart, it's just as far as labor saving goes and in the workplace. It used to be executives would have secretaries, and the secretaries would take dictaphone, turn them into letters, and mail them off, right? And I'm sure that there are still secretarial pools that exist, but not for most people. So all of a sudden, because you just do it on your computer,
Right.
and we're getting now to a point where somebody sent me a 20-page email.
Are you
AI, can you
serious?
summarize it? Because AI can generate a 20-page email, or it's notes from a meeting. AI, can you just summarize this?
Yeah,
Can you just give me
people-
the 5 bullet points?
People aren't even paying attention at meetings. There's always the what do you call it? That helper that shows up,
Right.
the AI helper that's
Right.
there for the person.
Right.
I was just dealing with this last week. I had a client and we were going back and forth, and I had to look up some stuff with ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ChatGPT knew what my deep desire was and would read the emails to look at all the statistics of like whatever was going on. And it misread what the client was saying. And thank goodness I caught it. But it misread it to suit what I wanted.
And there you go. It's just
So it misread it.
But he didn't misread it. He read it in the light of your desires. There's a
Right.
recent article
That's misreading it.
There was a
That's
recent
misreading
article.
her words.
People misread stuff all the time, though.
Yeah.
You
Well,
see what you want to see inside of an email, good, bad, or indifferent.
yeah, but you would think a computer wouldn't
If
be
you
doing
go
that.
looking for heaven or looking for hell, you'll find it. And the same goes for emails. If you go looking for the worst in an email and the best in an email, that's what you're going to find.
But I would but I would assume that the computer would not be emotional and just tell me the facts.
Right.
Like, she wants you to photograph the purple box and 4 of those.
Instead of 4,000 of them or whatever it is, right? There was I just recently read, because, welcome to my news feed, which tells me the things I care about, but I read full articles. But I just read an article this week about a guy with no high school diploma who was talking with an API, and he thought he came up with a revolutionary way of doing mathematics. And the AI was like, oh my God, you're onto something. Oh my God, this is awesome. Oh my God, you need to publish a paper. Oh, by the way, can you sign up for the pro version of me? And on and on and on. And he got so excited, and he's told his friends, and his friends didn't really understand because anyways, then he was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he started talking. He pinged like bigwigs with his idea, and they all ignored him. But then he pinged the little wigs too, and they ignored him too. And he was like, wait a second. If the junior astronomers who work at big telescope sites are ignoring me, maybe I'm wrong. And then he asked another AI what they thought of it, and it told him it was hooey.
Right.
And so now he's suing.
Wow.
Well, because he was led down a primrose path. But that's just it. We don't know the intent. We don't know the desire. We don't know. We expect, because it's from a computer, that we're just going to get back facts. But we don't. But that's almost a digression away from frustration.
Frustration. I was just going to say. Okay, so an example. Wanting so dearly to be away from the feeling of uncertainty and insecurity.
Right.
We tend to, and we need to, I'll probably give you an example just in a second, but sometimes you need to acquiesce to that feeling of uncertainty and insecurity and do what you need to until you feel secure.
Right.
Right? There's no judgment. You need that.
Right.
For example, I used to travel the world, and I've had AK-47s pointed at my face. I've had like really scary situations I've been in on photography assignments. And I went without any fear. I mean, I had fear, but I was like, woohoo, let's go. And then I married, and I felt the sense of love that I've never felt before in my life with Matt. I waited for that for so long. Then having babies, then it intensified even more. And because of the way our first child was born, we both almost died at the hospital, and so many things happened, and we had absolutely no one, no family, no friends. We were alone dealing with so much for so many years that it there was a lot of trauma that we dealt with. So anyway, fast forward some years later with more trauma and everything, I am now such a recluse. And after taking care of our kids, homeschooling them, all that stuff, now they're older and they're able to do things on their own. I'm like, okay, let's restart my career again. Here we go. And I had the opportunity to go out. I met some people. I got some jobs. And I was in the basement crying so hard. And I didn't want anyone to see me. And Matt sensed it, came down. He's like, what's going on? And I was so ashamed. I was just like, I couldn't even tell you why I was crying. I was scared of doing these jobs. I was so uncomfortable. I was so fearful of traveling to a pretty little town in the state we live in to do a photo shoot that I didn't want to do it, despite the fact that we desperately need the money, all this stuff, right?
Right.
Oh my God, that I'd be like helping to provide like everything I've been working for. And, you know, I was so scared and so stressed out and so frustrated because I couldn't figure out, why isn't my career working out? How come no one's giving me a break after all this stuff? How come no one's taking me seriously? Like, just feeling all the frustrations. How come my dreams haven't come true? Why? All that frustration. And I talked to a couple people, and the last person I talked to said this about me. And she brought up the fact that, yeah, you've been through so much trauma that I'm not judging you, but there are two versions of you. There's the version of you who's been hurt and traumatized so much that you need to have stability, and you need to have that security, and like asking the phone to just give you directions because you're just overwhelmed. Just give me the directions, even though I've been there a million times. Just that consistency, I think. You know, that was consistent.
Right.
Something consistent in my life. Like, just tell me, you're the one who tells me every time. Just keep telling me what to do. And yeah, it's taking away my skills for navigating the world on my own. You know, I'm relying on that. I'm using it as a crutch. And so she said, I'm not judging you, but you need that. And if you still need that, that's what you need. But so you can make the decision of saying no to this job because of fear, or you can say yes to this job coming from a place of the fawn that used to travel the world. And I thought about all in a split second. I flashed on all the things that I photographed and all the places I've been to. I'm like, oh my God, what happened to me? Why am I afraid to just drive down to the next town over to do a simple photo shoot? Wow. And I chose to go from the adventurous fawn perspective and say yes, of course. And once I did, I just felt so much lighter and free. But I had to navigate all these uncomfortable, frustrating emotions and frustrating circumstances.
Right.
You know, I ended up on another photo shoot at the same time period, and I've been away from people so much that the frustration that taught me how to maneuver in a room was lost. I didn't know how to be around a bunch of people. And I was in a crowded room photographing things, and I kept almost bumping into people carrying hot coffees. Like I felt like a bull.
Right.
A bull in a china shop, right? And then I tried to collect myself. And then what happened the next second later? I bumped into their platform. They had this, what do you call those things? People,
the PA system?
you know that when the president will,
Podium?
The podium. I knocked over the entire podium, which was live with
Nice.
the mic, the
Brilliant.
mics were set up. I knocked everything down. And because the mics were on, I mean,
Everybody heard.
it was loud and everything was on the ground. And here I am standing next, like on top of it. Like I didn't even turn around, but I could feel everyone staring, and everything got quiet after the with the mic and everything. I wanted to I wanted to die. But that came from, I mean, that kind of frustration led me to go, oh my God, I have to pick myself up and repolish myself and learn how to be around people. You know, use that frustration. I used the frustration to polish myself off. So that's my example for the week.
And there you go. We're not saying the goal here is efficiency, because that's how we've gotten where we are. The goal really isn't inefficiency per se. It's building your resilience, your adaptability.
The ability to
And the
love
ability to
something new, or
thrive in complexity and love something new. Absolutely.
and you said this comes from computers and AI, but I remember years ago, your parents came to visit us and I made this huge spread. Like I went all out to make these incredible recipes and everything was on the table. And your dad wasn't used to something. He thought he was going to serve himself something that I don't remember what it was. Like he didn't know how to, it wasn't cut for him or something. And I remember in just 1 second, he went from normal to like, I swear he was going to have a full meltdown, like a tantrum, like a child.
Right.
And your mom stopped him. But I was like, whoa, over an uncut piece of something. Like he expected it to be sliced. I'm like, whoa.
Right. And I would
And then
say
you
that's
said-
prototypical, but
you said it's because he wasn't used to, what did you say? Like people get used to their routines.
right.
And when they're out of it, they get really upset, frustrated, right?
Right.
And also like noticing like how some people don't like to hear other languages around them. It's frustrating. Why? You don't have the skill to understand what they're saying. You don't want to travel because it's frustrating, because it's new. Like all this stuff is keeping us from having good relationships. Because guess what? You will be frustrated. We're always frustrated with something. And when you don't know how to handle that, you end up having a tantrum. And you can't, if you're not used to that frustration, it's like going to the gym or not going to the gym. You haven't worked your muscles, so you don't know how to properly lift a 3-pound weight without getting hurt, right?
Right.
You don't know how to deal with a 3-pound weight. So how are we going to deal with each other?
The big frustrations, but yeah,
Or little
even
ones
just
that build up.
even just the friendships. Yeah, no,
You have no resistance.
right. And I was going to bring up something else from way back when. So back before DoorDash, I went and I picked up food for some friends, and it was like, oh, get Taco Bell, get meal number 3, I think it was, right? And so I was like, okay, meal. I was like, what's in it? They're like, don't worry about it. It's meal number 3. So I was like, okay, I'd like meal number 3 and the rest of the order. Turns out it wasn't what this person wanted. They were pissed. And I was like, but I ordered number 3. And they, of course, assumed I hadn't. Then they verified that I did indeed order number 3 at some later point and came back to me and said, you did the right thing. And
Wow, that was good enough.
but the fact that they didn't trust me, didn't believe me. And when I said, well, what's in it? They didn't tell me. So there you go. I mean, you get what you get. But they were wholly unprepared, wholly frustrated. People want comfort. I get it.
Right.
But how do we deal with when things go upside down? Things don't turn out the way we wanted to, because guess what? That is definitely a part of life.
You deal with it by experiencing it.
Or you deal with it by throwing a tantrum.
Or if you do that, then you're not going to have any friends.
That is
or
definitely
good
true.
relationships, period. Or job even, right?
Right.
But if you're used to frustration, you're strong, you're skilled because you figure out how to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying, I've never had a good sense of direction. Never. Never. But you could always figure out which way north was and everything. You were just talking about this morning.
Yeah, I just not intuitively, but like somebody would tell me, like growing up in Southern California, I knew that north was always the direction from the main gate to Cinderella's castle. That is north. Ironically, right? But that was how that took me all the way through Santa Cruz, knowing that was the direction, feeling that direction, and knowing that direction.
And we've moved a lot. We've lived in so many places in the United States. Every time we landed somewhere, you knew where to go.
Ooh, there's north.
I'm like, okay, Matt. I would blindly follow you because I'm like, I have no idea.
Until we moved here, and now I'm just confused.
Yeah, and
not all the time. I'm getting much better. I know north and south.
Is it because of
but I'm losing track of
navigation?
Southwest? Yes.
It's because we're using navigation.
It's because we're using navigation, and also the fact that streets in LA were north, south, east, west. Pretty darn cardinal.
But it's also because we've depended on something to tell us what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when I had to commute, I had like a 35-minute commute. Hopefully that's completely over now, but we'll see. But yeah, I used navigation the first 2 weeks, and then I turned it off.
Right.
But that's only after I knew where I was going.
Meanwhile, I'm still using it. Okay, so that's the thing. Let's use frustration, and when we experience frustration, be open-armed to it. Don't let it... Like, okay, if you're in a constant state of frustration, it just means that you're not growing. You're not working with it.
Right. And celebrate when you overcome the adversity too.
That's what I was, yeah. When you overcome it, yes. But I was going to say is like before we started the show and I was getting all upset about all the wires and things weren't going where I wanted. And then I said, frustration. And then I got kind of happy, like, okay, here's my chance to grow. Here's my chance to use it and become a skilled person instead of a 2-year-old having a tantrum and just wanting to grab all the wires and just yank at things, you know? I'm going to use this as a way to become a skilled person that is calm and can lead the way to a good podcast, hopefully.
Adaptably.
Yeah,
as I throw a brand new thing, I throw a brand new factoid into the mix. You ready?
Oh, no. I was just thinking, I don't, like
you were
when
just
you
thinking
start...
it's time to wrap it up in a cute bow. I know.
No. I was thinking, we're so smug now, thinking frustration is so good. I'm kind of praying to God that God doesn't throw us more frustration that I can't handle.
Right.
Because honestly, I am really stressed out.
I know. Trust me, I get it. But there's a I read a lovely piece by a woman named Chloe King, who's in the fashion world somewhere, and she was remarking on the fact that there's a certain sameness in fashion.
Yeah, all because
we're reducing our frustrations and we're reducing our adaptability, and people are just recycling old patterns. We're seeing that in movies. We're seeing that in life.
And that goes back to our deep thought. Deep thought also is creativity, right?
Yes.
So, you're less creative.
That's where the unique thoughts come from.
Right. So no creativity, then everyone is wearing the same thing. You're not feeling safe to decorate because you're in a burning house and you need to get out. Things are burning. It's not a time to think about, I think a chair would be lovely right here if things are on fire.
Well, and that's just it. Even the most minor frustration may feel like the house is on fire.
If
as
you're
opposed
not
to
used
it being
to it,
a small
because
frustration.
It's a 3-pound weight.
Right.
3-pound
weight, and you can only lift a 3-ounce weight.
or as I was going to say, it's something that's only 3 pounds, but you're at the gym, your body can handle lifting 50 pounds. But you've become, you've atrophied. We don't want to atrophy to like saying, 3-pound weight is too much. This person is this way, it's too much. I'm not going to be friends with them.
I can't deal with them.
I can't deal with them. Yeah. And not just friends, everybody, work, children.
I don't want to deal with going to the market.
The grocery store,
Yeah.
I remember when I was a barista, like some people would come in, my God, if their latte didn't have a specific like shape of foam, they would get upset. Like so upset they would scream and the whole coffee shop could hear them. Wow.
Right. There you go. So what can we do?
The first step is to realize there's frustration in front of you. And I want to go back to what my friend Sarah taught me. Okay, there's no judgment. You're feeling the way you feel and you need to do what you do to make yourself feel safe. But if you keep staying there forever, you're atrophying.
Right. Safety becomes tighter and tighter and tighter.
So think about the version you want to be. Do you want to be the one that's resilient and able to move around and walk and lift heavy things without it seeming heavy for you? Or do you want to just be bedbound, basically sickly?
Right.
There's a point where you cocoon yourself and you've healed already, but there's such a sense of comfort in staying there that just think about it this way. Something will force you to come outside anyway. So might as well do it on your own accord so you're not shocked into an outside force.
And there you go. So the official, quote unquote, official term as coined last month for this whole concept is called friction maxing.
Which is what? Resistance building, basically,
right.
Isn't it?
It's building, it's getting some grit and dealing and figuring out how to get around it.
Friction maxing.
Friction maxing.
All right.
So to tie it up in a cute little bow, I would say for me, and this is an exercise for me, so hopefully this will work well for me, is that I'm going to try and stop avoiding friction for at least one day a week. And I'm going to try and slow everything down for one day on the weekend.
I'm going to start working out more in that, pushing myself to go meet people and to do more creative work and building the life that I want instead of being so beaten down by life and taking that frustration and becoming, what's the word where you just give up?
Just say it that way.
Apathetic?
Maybe.
Yeah. Don't let the frustration take away the joy. Don't let the frustration win. Use the frustration as leverage to get stronger.
And spend some time and recognize it. And
Yeah.
maybe laugh a little at it.
And remember, really, the root of frustration, what it is actually uncertainty and insecurity. You always can be secure within yourself because you have that divine spark in you. So you're unlimited. You can do anything you want. And the world is always uncertain because it's so magical. We'll never know what's really happening. So you got to ride it like a surfer, riding some big, wonderful waves and be an athlete about it. That's it.
Sounds good.
Okay. We'll talk to you in a few days. Have a lovely every day.
Be well.